All right, welcome to your own personal deep dive. So you're thinking about buying that renovated row house, 901 Port Street in Baltimore.
Mm,
Historic neighborhood, fresh start.
yeah,
Sounds dreamy, right?
it does.
But before you sign on the dotted line, let's make sure that those shiny new surfaces aren't masking some, well, not so new problems.
Yeah, smart.
We're going to be digging into a pretty detailed inspection report from KMA Associates to help you spot any potential red flags.
Great.
So this report we're looking at, it's especially insightful because it was actually prepared by an expert
Oh,
witness,
wow.
someone who provides professional assessments for, things like insurance claims, legal disputes. So they've got a sharp eye for detail.
For sure. You want them on your side.
Yeah, exactly. And the report mentions that this contracting company, they hold a whole bunch of licenses,
Okay.
which initially seems pretty reassuring.
Yeah, I mean, licenses are definitely important, but they're not a foolproof guarantee of quality work.
Right.
This report actually reveals some uh, pretty concerning issues that could turn that dream home into a renovation headache.
Oh, no. Okay, so let's dive right in. First up, we've got a leaking shower, second floor.
Uh-oh.
Not exactly what you want in a renovated bathroom.
Yeah.
Imagine like water dripping into the ceiling below. Talk about a buzzkill.
Yeah. And, what's even more worrying is that the report says the contractor just simply caulked the seams,
Oh, really?
which is kind of a temporary fix at best.
Yeah.
The inspector actually found water behind the tiles, indicating a much deeper problem. This isn't just a leaky faucet. We could be talking like a complete demolition and rebuild of the shower to properly waterproof it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's a major expense and disruption you wouldn't expect in a, quote, newly renovated home.
Yeah, for
This
sure.
is definitely something you'd want to factor into your decision making.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that what you see on the surface isn't always the whole story.
Right. Okay, moving on. We've got a toilet on the second floor that just won't stop running. We've all heard that annoying sound.
Well, yeah.
But in a supposedly brand new house, it kind of makes you wonder what else might be going on.
Right.
What else might be amiss?
The report suggests it's a faulty fill valve,
Okay.
which is that little mechanism that controls the water flow into the tank.
Right.
Luckily, it's a relatively minor fix.
Okay, good.
A plumber can replace the valve pretty easily.
Yeah,
And, restore some peace and quiet to the bathroom.
that's a relief. A small relief, at least.
Yeah.
But hold on, there's more water trouble.
Oh, no.
The shower on the second floor isn't exactly keeping the water where it belongs. Imagine stepping out of the shower onto a soaked floor.
Not good.
Definitely not the spa-like experience you were hoping for.
Yeah, that sounds pretty unpleasant. So
Yeah.
the issue here is a design flaw. The threshold of the shower should be sloped to direct water back into the drain. But the existing pan is flat. This means the water flows outward instead of staying contained.
So how do you fix this watery mess? Like, ripping out a brand new shower doesn't sound very appealing,
I know.
especially after you might have to rip out the other one.
Yeah. No, it shouldn't be that drastic. The inspector recommends adding a sloped threshold,
Okay.
which will redirect the water flow back into the shower where it belongs. It's a fix, but again, something you wouldn't expect to deal with in a renovated bathroom.
Right, right. And now for something a little more mysterious and maybe a bit unsettling. The report mentions water stains on the second floor ceiling, but the source of the leak is unknown. Talk about a home renovation mystery.
Ooh, that's interesting. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So the inspector couldn't pinpoint the source because there's no attic access.
Oh,
However, they did observe multiple roof seams and an old chimney.
hmm,
Could be potential culprits.
right.
Raises some important questions.
Yeah. It's starting to feel like we're uncovering more questions than answers.
Yeah,
This could turn into a bigger project than initially anticipated.
it could. It could mean opening up the drywall to investigate the source of the leak.
Hmm.
And depending on what they find, it could lead to sealing the entire roof and chimney.
Wow.
That's a significant undertaking.
Yeah.
And it underscores the importance of uh, understanding the potential scope of these issues.
Right. Okay. Next up, we're moving on to something a little less damp. The inspection report raises concerns about the stairs leading to the second floor. Imagine that unsettling feeling of stairs flexing beneath your feet with every step.
Oh, yeah.
Makes you nervous.
It's not just unsettling, it could actually be a safety hazard.
Oh, wow.
The inspector noted that the stairs have a long, unsupported span It might have inadequate stringers,
Stringers.
which are the structural supports that run along the sides.
Oh, okay.
Basically, the stairs might not be strong enough to handle the weight they're meant to bear.
So what are the options here? Is a complete staircase overhaul in the cards?
It might not be that drastic. The report suggests two possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
They could replace the existing stairs with a properly designed open staircase,
Mm-hmm.
which would provide more support.
Right.
Or they can reinforce the existing structure, which might be less disruptive. Still a considerable project.
And finally, we come to the basement. You know what they say about water in the basement?
Uh-oh. It's never a good sign.
It's never a good sign.
No.
And the report reveals some major concerns about water intrusion in this house.
Okay.
The inspector found evidence of water in several areas of the basement floor,
Mhm.
which is a huge red flag.
It is. And, there's a common misconception that spray foam insulation equals waterproofing,
Oh, right.
but it's not,
Yeah.
primarily for insulation.
Okay.
The inspector found gaps in the foam, areas behind pipes and ducts where it wasn't applied, and even broken cement at the front of the house sloping toward the foundation. Basically a perfect setup for water to find its way in.
Yeah, not good.
So what needs to be done to fix this?
Well, is it just a matter of patching things up, or...
Unfortunately, it's more involved than that.
Oh, no.
The report recommends sealing all the basement walls with either fiberglass or epoxy,
Okay.
removing that existing spray foam,
Uh-huh.
and applying an elastomeric coating, which is a type of waterproof paint.
Right.
Additionally, they'll need to repair that broken cement and make sure it slopes away from the house to prevent water from pooling.
Wow. That's a lot to process. We've gone from a leaky shower to, like, a full-blown basement waterproofing project.
Yeah.
It seems, quote, newly renovated might not mean what we initially thought.
Yeah, it highlights the importance of looking beyond those surface-level renovations and understanding the underlying issues. We've uncovered a lot already, but there could be even more lurking beneath the surface.
Ooh, scary. And that's what we'll be diving into next. We'll be exploring the potential hidden hazards that often pop up in older homes,
Okay, great.
especially those charming Baltimore row houses.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, it's like we've just seen the tip of the iceberg with these obvious problems.
Right.
Now let's plunge a little deeper into the hidden issues that could be lurking in a home like this.
All right. So what sort of hidden dangers should we be thinking about?
Well, let's start with the electrical system. The report doesn't flag any specific issues, but, older homes in Baltimore often have outdated wiring.
Oh, okay.
This can be a fire hazard, may not be up to code for modern appliances.
So even if those light fixtures look all new and shiny, the wiring behind them could be a whole other story.
Exactly.
So what can you do to be proactive about this? Like, how do you even know?
Well, a thorough electrical inspection is crucial.
Okay.
A qualified electrician can uncover any hidden problems like overloaded circuits, faulty wiring, grounding issues. It's much better to address those up front than to deal with a potential electrical fire down the line.
Right. Makes sense. And speaking of fire hazards, let's talk plumbing. So we've already seen some water issues, but is there anything else to be concerned about beyond leaks?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Older homes in Baltimore are notorious for having galvanized steel pipes.
Oh, really?
And over time, these pipes corrode and rust, leading to reduced water flow, leaks, and even contaminated water.
Ugh, that's not something you want to imagine coming out of your faucets.
No, it's not. And these pipes are often hidden, behind walls under floors.
Right.
So you might not even realize there's a problem until a major leak springs up.
So what's the best way to address this? Do you need to, rip out all the plumbing and start over?
Sometimes that's necessary, especially if the pipes are severely corroded.
Oh, okay.
But a qualified plumber can assess the condition of the pipes and recommend the best approach.
Right.
They might suggest replacing just sections of pipe or installing a whole house water filtration system to remove contaminants.
Okay, that makes sense. We've talked about electrical, plumbing, but what about, other potential health hazards? Things you can't necessarily see just by looking around.
Right. That brings us to asbestos,
Ooh.
something that's often overlooked but can have some serious health implications.
Asbestos. I thought that was something, they used in old insulation floor tiles. Way back when.
You're right. And many older homes in Baltimore, particularly those built before the 1980s, they still contain asbestos.
Oh, wow.
The danger is that when asbestos fibers are disturbed, they become airborne
Okay.
and can be inhaled, leading to serious lung diseases.
So we're not just talking about a renovation inconvenience here, we're talking about a potential health risk.
Exactly. And the tricky thing with asbestos is that it's often hidden.
Okay.
Behind walls, under flooring, insulation, you don't always know it's there.
So what's the best way to approach this? Like, should you just assume there's asbestos and call in a hazmat team?
Well, not necessarily. The first step is to have the property tested for asbestos by a certified professional.
Okay.
And if asbestos is found, they can recommend the best course of action, which might involve removal, encapsulation, or simply leaving it undisturbed if it's in a stable condition. Really depends on the situation.
Okay. So it seems like these, quote, hidden issues add a whole other layer of complexity to this, quote, newly renovated home.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that renovations often focus on the aesthetics, but addressing the underlying infrastructure and potential hazards is just as important. We want to make sure you're moving into a healthy and safe environment.
Right. Okay, so we've covered electrical, plumbing, asbestos. What other hidden issues might be hiding in this seemingly charming row house?
Well, there's another common problem in older homes we can't ignore: lead paint.
Lead paint. I thought that was banned a long time ago.
You're right. It was banned for residential use in 1978. But many homes built before that still have layers of lead paint hidden beneath newer coats.
And I'm guessing it's not just an aesthetic issue.
Definitely not. Lead paint is highly toxic, especially for young children. When lead paint chips or deteriorates, it creates lead dust, which can be ingested or inhaled,
Okay.
leading to developmental problems and other serious health issues.
So this is a serious concern for any potential buyer, especially families with young children.
Absolutely. And just like asbestos, lead paint often hides beneath the surface. Having the property tested by a certified lead inspector is essential.
Okay. So we've got like a growing list of potential hidden dangers here.
Yeah.
Electrical issues, outdated plumbing, asbestos, lead paint. Anything else we should add to this?
Well, one more thing to consider is the overall structural integrity of the house. Row houses in Baltimore, they have their charm, but they also face unique structural challenges over time.
Like what? Cracking foundations, leaning walls, that kind of thing.
Not necessarily,
Mm.
but settling can occur over time, leading to cracks in the foundation, uneven floors, other structural issues that need to be addressed.
And those are not the kind of character features you want to deal with.
Right.
So what's the best way to like assess those potential issues?
Well, it's essential to have a qualified structural engineer inspect the property. They can assess the foundation, the load-bearing walls, the overall stability of the structure. Think of it like a checkup for your house.
Right. Okay. This is a lot to take in. It feels like we've opened like a Pandora's box of potential problems.
Well, older homes definitely come with their share of challenges.
Yeah.
But with careful inspection and planning, you can address these issues and create a safe, healthy, and beautiful home. It's all about being informed and prepared.
Knowledge is power.
That's right.
And that's what this deep dive is all about, is giving you the information you need to make smart decisions. We've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one more piece to explore. How do all these potential problems connect to the bigger picture of Baltimore's history and housing market? Let's dive into that next.
Okay, so we've gone from this seemingly straightforward inspection report to uncovering a whole bunch of potential hidden issues.
Yeah.
But how does all this connect to Baltimore's unique history and its housing market? It feels like there's a bigger story here. Yeah, I think you're right. Baltimore has this fascinating mix of like rich architectural heritage, and kind of aging infrastructure.
Yeah.
Many of those row houses, like the one you're considering, were built over a century ago. So they've witnessed a lot of history.
Right.
And that history can be embedded in their walls and foundations.
It's not just about the individual house, it's about the context, right? The neighborhood, the history of the city.
Exactly. And that context can significantly impact, property values, renovation costs.
Okay.
For instance, like in neighborhoods with a high concentration of older homes,
Mm-hmm.
you're likely to see greater demand for skilled tradespeople specializing in historic restoration.
Right.
And that expertise is valuable and can drive up labor costs.
Yeah, makes sense. Like a supply and demand situation.
Precisely. And then you've got building codes.
Yeah.
Baltimore City has strict building codes, and for good reason.
Yeah.
They're designed to preserve the historic character of its neighborhoods. But those codes can add complexity and cost to renovations.
Yeah, you might need special permits, materials.
Right, exactly.
To ensure your renovation meets those historical standards. Adds another layer of like planning and budgeting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's also a flix to this.
Yeah.
Investing in a historic home in Baltimore can be incredibly rewarding. You know, you're not just buying a house, you're becoming a steward of a piece of history.
It's like owning a piece of living history.
It is.
But it comes with a responsibility.
To preserve it.
Yeah, to preserve and maintain it.
Absolutely. That's why due diligence is so crucial.
Right.
Before buying any home in Baltimore, especially an older one, you need to do your research. Get a thorough inspection, consult with qualified professionals, and really understand the potential costs involved in, bringing that property up to modern standards. It's an investment.
Right. In the house's future and yours.
Yeah, exactly.
So for our listener, considering 901 Port Street, what's the biggest takeaway from all of this?
Well, I think this inspection report is a valuable first step. It reveals some red flags, but it also raises some important questions about the hidden history, of this specific house. It's a reminder that buying a home, especially a renovated one, goes beyond just loving the finishes.
Right.
You have to understand the underlying structure, the potential risks, the long-term investment involved. It's about making informed decisions every step of the way.
Asking the right questions, knowing who to consult, building that team of experts that you trust.
Exactly. Ultimately, it's about making a decision that aligns with your vision, your budget, your long-term goals.
Okay, so as you consider 901 Port Street, remember what we've talked about in this deep dive? Let it guide you to ask those tough questions. Seek expert advice. Maybe even uncover the hidden stories within those walls, because sometimes the most important renovations are the ones we can't see.
Every house has a story to tell. It's up to you to listen closely and decide if it's a story you want to be a part of.
Great point to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into 901 Port Street. We hope you feel empowered, informed, and ready to tackle your next home buying adventure.